Made it back once again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we can see. Let's see what we can see. First off, what we're going to see is what I saw. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's going to start off with Tennessee. We can go take a look and see what Tennessee was doing for us today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to a new way of doing things. See, we've been taught to pray. We've been taught to beg. We've been taught to ask. But when you do things on a computer, you're giving it commands. When you do things in this life and you want someone to really understand, overstand what the hell you're trying to get them to comprehend, it's really just based on some intentions. Your intentions, you should be commanding things. If you come from the universe, you are part of this universe. If you are part of this universe, you should be commanding the universe to do what you expect it to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Tennessee is your first drawing that we jump onto. I'm going to catch us up with the Florida hookup real quick. Florida gave us 698. I'm going to jump off of this little wave that we were on over here because I don't want to take up a whole lot of time. I really don't. And all you're just doing is you're just allowing me to come out here every single day and just show off one of my many superpowers. 5, 1, 8, 4. I want you to pay specific. I want you to look at everything in detail. And when I say that, specifically pay attention to the dates, specifically pay attention to the times when there's timestamps on the predictions. A lot of times, I'm not sure why. I'm going to actually write them and ask them why everything is not timestamped, because sometimes I get timestamps, sometimes I don't. But anyway, North Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina. Let's see here. Where are we at right here? North Carolina was 664. I know we said 664 would fall straight at least two times. I know, I know, I know. 2660, one of my favorite numbers. I like it. 2066 and 0266. Okay, going back up to the top, you have Tennessee. So you know Tennessee didn't do anything. They didn't do anything with the 164. I told you yesterday 164 would fall straight. I told you 957 would fall straight. Ladies and gentlemen, 782, 782, 782. How many people remember me telling you to watch out for 782? I have told you over and 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 over. I'm telling you over and over and over again that these numbers are not lying to me. Why won't you believe me? Again, if there was a day, it was very recent where nobody could hear me. And I do believe that, it was a technical difficulty, but it was also a technical difficulty that was a learning instrument for myself and for my viewers. Okay? Again and again and again and again, I'm telling you, every single day, when I come on here, I am telling you the truth. This is why I keep getting banned and suspended and getting a ban warning, because my content is so truthful, so factful, and y'all know that the truth hurts. When the truth hurts, they start to go the low and dirty ways. Okay? They have to do the low and the dirty ways. That's just the way the system works. That's part of the matrix. Once you stop obeying, okay. So again, we're going to go back into this and we're looking at 7-8 dues, right? 7-8 dues. 7-8 dues. I'm going to write this one in red because I know what I said. I told you. Some of you are understanding this very, very well. I'm getting a lot of great responses from people who have been calling me and saying, hey, you know what? I'm starting to hear what you hear. I'm starting to feel what you feel. I want to get better at what you are teaching. And I'm not really teaching anything. I'm just making you aware. I'm making you aware. Okay. If you're already known before you were placed in your mother's womb, if you're already known before you're placed in your mother's womb, then that means that you knew that person, that entity, that imperceptible thing as well. Don't get it twisted now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go take a look at your 7-8 dues. 7-8 dues, 7-8 dues. We're going to go into my Discord, and the Discord is going to reveal to us what I have been going into deep, deep meditation to pull out the revelation of what's going to happen. 7 8 deuce, ladies and gentlemen. 7 8 deuce. Let's pull out the stylus because you should know when I tell you that the number one number is the number one number. The number one number is the number one number. That's all I can say. But I want you to be able to see for yourself. Look at the time. Look at the date. Ladies and gentlemen, on 9/1/2025 at 2:33 a.m. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. Ladies and gentlemen, can you see it in the drifter right back there? They told us, look, straight prediction promised. Look, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to start off right here where we say to focus on my top five three digits. How many people can understand, understand, overstand how to do that? If you can do that, by all means, go to dynamicpredictions.onrender.com and pick you a package. I'm telling you, that package will not go wrong for you, especially if you know how to invest in, look, the number one number, 7 8 deuce, 7 8 deuce. Let me do this a little bit better. We're going to go for the royalty because we are royalty here. And this is why we do things the way that we do. This is why we know where to put these numbers because numbers don't lie. And if you know that numbers don't lie, that's why I can say, which I promise, the first two big money patterns. Look at that. Number one, boom, 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 boom. Number one, promise kept. You see that right there, ladies and gentlemen? You know the reason why I raise my voice? Because I know that somebody is listening. I know that I'm going deeper than the surface. I'm reaching deep down into someone who is really looking for a change. Okay? When I tell you a change, all you have to do is look at one number. So if you would have looked at that one number and said, look, I'm going to take that one number right there, and I am going to play it straight. I just mentioned to somebody earlier that this is why I do not and will not box my three digits, no matter what. Four digits, yeah. Four digits, yeah. But a three digit, no. A three digit, no. A three digit, no. Again, I am giving you the secret sauce, the secret to investing in lottery. You don't have to invest in the stock market. Invest in lottery combinations. You are day trading your lottery combinations. You are day trading numbers, and you only run numbers for 2 to 3 drawings to 2 to 3 days. Now, these drawings are set up to where they're going to come in and out for about 7 days. In and out for about 7 days. Some people, they will invest in that one number for 7 days, and they will come back and tell me, how did I invest in a number for 7 days and I hit it 10 times and 7 times I hit it straight? I said, because that's how great I am. That's how awesome I am. That's how phenomenal I am with my work. Okay? Hands down. Ladies and gentlemen, I said that this will manifest. I didn't say it may. I didn't say it might. I didn't say, oh, I think it might come. No, I don't know how to do that shit. Remember, I also throw in a guarantee that the number will make a debut in Tennessee. Look at that. And your state. Ladies and gentlemen, I said it would fall between 9-1 and 9-8. Number one number, promise kept. Straight with proof in writing at 2:33 a.m. I was in the cosmos. I was in the cosmos doing the most. I come back. I bust through the abyss so I don't miss. And when I tell you I don't miss, you can see I don't miss. I do miss, but you know, you'll see me miss from time to time. But the majority of the time, it's going to be straight. The majority of the time, you're going to see me doing great. The majority of the time, I'm going to demonstrate greatness every single time. Not for myself. I don't need to validate anything that you see me doing. It validates itself. Why? Numbers don't lie. And I tell you this with confidence. I've been doing this since I was a little boy. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, when you can take that number one number and give it to your VIP members and tell them to run that number straight and tell them that you know what, you don't have to look at any other number but that number one number if that's what your budget can handle. If that's what your budget can handle, you do that number one number and that number one number will do something for you. Ladies and gentlemen, your 782, your number one number. That's why it gets the yellow. Ladies and gentlemen, Tennessee dropped for the 4 digit in the evening. Let's see here. Seven, 9, 5, 9. 7, 9, 5, 9. 7, 9, 5, 9. Let's see here. 7, 9, 5, 9. Let me go ahead and screenshot this here. Seven, 9, 9, 5. 5, 7, 9, 9. All right, Big Money West. Big Money West. He's a very good listener. Big Money West, he wins on an average on 7 out of 7 days, he's hitting 5 to 6 of those days. And if I'm not mistaken, I have seen him on a run where he hit every single day, every single drawing. So, and I see there's two of my members that are just chiming in the Discord, letting me know that they're listening, they're paying attention, and they're following my winning instructions. So again, let me go ahead. I'm going to work out this 5799 real quick because let's see here. It was 7959. You'll probably see it just the way I just called it out. Let me write it in right here. 7959. Okay. You are going to see 9579, 9579 9579 All right, Renee. Okay. That's what I like to see. When I see people listening, that's when I know that me being here is making a difference. When I don't think that anybody's listening, it's like, you know what? When you know how to leave the body and know exactly where you're going when you leave the body, why would you want to keep coming back to a jail cell? Make it make sense. Why would you want to keep coming back to a jail cell? So, again, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that these numbers are not lying to me and you don't believe me, shame on you. Shame on me if I don't provide these numbers after going into the deepest part of myself and letting myself get down deep into what we call uh, astral projection and taking numerology, taking the energy, frequency, and vibration. Like I said, ever since I was a little boy, I have been able to manipulate numbers, so to speak. Okay, so as you can see, 782 was put in the number one position. We're going to keep researching this 579, but before we do that, I'm going to jump to uh, giving you what will come right with that number because a lot of times in that instant, I will automatically know what's going to happen. And I have to really just jump on, what I'm feeling, what I'm listening to. A lot of us do that. And you know what they say? If I had to follow my first mind, I would have hit that shit. Just dummied down your superpower and just called it your first mind and didn't know that it was your supernatural intelligence at its best, at its finest, working right there for you. And then you're gonna say, if I had to follow my first mind, like you got many minds. All it just tells you that you are not focused on one particular thing because had you been focused, you would have picked that one particular thing up. Again, once we start paying close attention to detail, sit in a room for about 25, 35, 45 minutes in the dark and let your thoughts just be thoughts until there's no thoughts. I guarantee you, just like I guaranteed that 782 and promised you that number one number would fall straight, I'm telling you, you're going to get something that's going to happen to you that's going to change the way that you do things. It's going to change the way that you think. It's going to change the way that you want to move around on this plane of existence. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to vibrate so high, like I said, that you cannot deny that what's running through your veins, that DNA right there, it's divine. You hear me? It is divine. And when I say it's divine, it's so divine that it would blow your mind to know that everything that you're thinking is coming from your own creative thought waves. It's part of your manifestation uh, package that you came here with. I told you before that they left off some things. They called you a human, but you're neither one. You're neither one. Some are, Some people are different hues, meaning different colors, and they are of mankind. Okay? But again, like I tell you, that numbers don't lie. And once you start to believe that what you're hearing, and I'm not just talking about from me, I'm talking about when you get the actual blueprints laid out in front of you, whether it be a confirmation from somebody else that says, hey, you know what? I already know that's bona fide. I already know that's factual. Oh, that's truth right there. And it's from the future. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at this 7959. I told you 9579. Write that down. I don't want to forget that myself because I can get to talking and next thing you know, a number didn't even show up. And I'll be like, oh my goodness, I know that I said it. So we said 7959. 7959 is a number that will repeat and travel. It will repeat 7959 and it will come back 9579. Two states before, two states after. Ladies and gentlemen, your 8060 sum of 14, 5, and 23. I told you that is a very, very strong combination of sums. Let's see here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch out for quad eights. Ladies and gentlemen, I see quad eights. I see quad eights. I see quad eights. All right, 8643. No matter what, first best alternate. Learn my terminology. 0486, 0486. Very last number you see. You'll see that in a little bit. I'll give you a live demonstration of how I will strategically place the winning number as the very last number with triple dollar signs on that number indicating it's going to win. Okay, so we know 9061. We're going to put that one on fire. Your 8060. That's going to be a backup number that is going to protect all other numbers. I need you to watch out for your 8610 and your 8688. Remember, I told you I saw quad eights. 9087 is a very strong combination that is guaranteed. Let's see here. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, when I don't say it, it's always two states before, two states after. Also, this is always for investment purposes only. The numbers will fall within 2 hours or less to two to three drawings, to 2 to 3 days. Even though I give a 7 day window for each number, that 7 day window is just to let you know that I've been tracking that number and that number will fall by the deadline date. Okay? It's very seldom that I put a number in the number one and the number two position and it don't make it by the deadline date. So let me go back and I am almost certain You know what? I am not going to be able to do that. Oh. Okay, I'm on the wrong phone. I'm on the wrong phone. So I apologize. I apologize. I am on the wrong phone. So what I'm going to have to do is just keep it moving. So after we looked at that 7959, I guess I can just keep looking and see. Oh, you know what I'll do is I'll make a little note for myself about the way that it's coming back. And I'll keep it moving to your, what was that? 5799. Um, 5979, 5997. Let's see here. 7599, 7959, 7995, 9579, 9597, 9759, 9795, 9957, and 9975. Okay, so again, these will be numbers that you will see me missing from time to time, but we will have the answer to what will follow that for sure. Okay, again, I'm putting these numbers down in writing in several different places, and it's not one of those type of things like where you can say, okay, why didn't you give us that number? Okay, you got to remember, I'm taking notes on states. Every state, every region, every country, any place that drops a number, I'm looking at the energy, frequency, and vibration of those combinations. And it's going to tell me, hey, look, congratulations, you made contact, just like the 782 did. Okay, so we're going to move on to uh, Michigan. 814. I had a lot of members say that we nailed the 814. 814. And 4880. Okay. 23 hours ago, 23, 22, 22 hours ago. 22 hours ago. Hold on, let's take it out of that. This card. There we go. Got a timestamp yesterday at 9:21 p.m. where it said that this number will manifest from 9/6 to 9/14 also guaranteeing that it would make its debut to your state and also Michigan. So no, you're going to see 619. No, you're going to see 810. No, you're going to see 724. No, you're going to see 910, 964. All of those numbers will fall in the same time, same day, within 2 states of each other. I guarantee this number to fall, ladies and gentlemen, based on information that I got from Texas. And as you can see, look, focus on the top five. Focus on the top five. You see that right there? You see that right there? You see that right there? That right there. We're going to get to this in a second. So we know we're supposed to focus on the top five, right? We know that it was going to manifest from 9-4 to 9-10. I also guarantee 1, 2, 3. I guarantee the number 3 number would be a great investment. I said it would be a great investment in your state and also primarily in Michigan. That's some detail. Ladies and gentlemen, that's guaranteed work right there. Guaranteed big money pattern with proof. I didn't leave myself enough room to write that. So now we're going to see if I can get it where we promised it. Because remember, numbers don't lie. So what I try to do is to prove to you that I'm giving you these numbers over and over and over again. So that was the 814 combination. 87 times, 87 times, 87 times, 87 times. Okay, watch this here. Let's go to 148. You're 148. Boom, 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 boom. 148, 148 right there. 148 said it would fall between 9-3 and 9-10, right? Ladies and gentlemen, 148, boom, boom, boom. Right up under the 185, said it would fall between 9-3 and 9-10, over and over and over again. We're going to take a look at 184, the combination 184. Boom, boom, boom. 184, ladies and gentlemen, guaranteed the number 3 number between 9-3 and 9-9. Is everybody still on board? There's that 048 again. Let's see what we got here. That went from 830 to 96. Number one number. Okay, then we're going to go move over to the 418 side. Your 418, your 418, your 418. Look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen. 418, 418 promised. Promised. Triple dollar sign to make it by 9/5 to 9/11. Coming out of Florida. 2 states before, 2 states after. Florida is 1 state after Michigan in the drawing lineup and the cutoff lineup for placing your investment wagers. I hope somebody's listening. Okay, let's go check out. Oh, we did ascertain that that was promised. Don't want to miss out on the promised land. We got your 4880, 4880, 4880, 4808. Boom, boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all don't play with me. If you don't play with me, I won't play with you. I deliberately make sure that I'm witnessing this with you so I can be just as fucking surprised as you are that I am that damn amazing. Look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Would you look at this? Would you look at this? Would you look at this, ladies and gentlemen? Would you look at this? But ain't nobody listening. Just a few. Can't say nobody's listening, Mr. Bascomb, because there is a few. There is a select few that is really, really paying attention. That number one combination, you cannot go wrong with that number one combination. I'm telling you that energy, frequency, and vibration will tell you to focus on the top 5 4 digits, which I promise the top two big money patterns. That was number one. Boom, boom, boom. Number one. Promise kept. He keeps his promise with proof in writing that they will manifest between the dates 9/5, 9/11. Today is 9/7. He also guaranteed that you would see it in your state, but primarily in Michigan. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? How about that? Also, look at that. From 9/5 to 9/7, that's within 24 to 48 hours. How many people are paying attention, grasping the detail of the communication that I am giving you from the energy, frequency, and vibration? I am using the law of randomness. There is no such thing as random numbers if there's a law of randomness. Don't be fooled. I told you, the Matrix may trick you, but it can't trick me anymore. No, sir. No, ma'am. So, again, I need you to watch out for that 5697, your 9321, and your 9320. Don't say that I did not provide it to you for free. If you want to get in and see these numbers for yourself, by all means. And if you don't know, now you know. The only way that you can get to dynamicpredictions.onrender.com is by knowing that you only have to invest in the first two. If the first two is too many, stick with number one. Run that number one number for either 2 to 3 drawings to 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 drawings. So if you ran that number for 2 to 3 drawings, so we're saying today you would be running this for tomorrow. So that means you're going to be running this midday, evening, midday tomorrow. But in Tennessee, you're running it also in it in more it's got more drawings to Tennessee than it does to Ohio, Michigan, Florida, and North Carolina, just like Georgia. Georgia and Tennessee, they are alike. Texas gives you more bang for your buck. They really will. If you just stick with Texas, I'm telling you, let's just jump off the subject real quick. Jumping off the subject real quick, ladies and gentlemen. If you just ran with Texas, look at this right here. Straight, promised, promised. Number one number, straight and promised. That's Texas. Texas, straight, promised. 5120, promised. 503, straight and promised. 6095, promised. That's another Sunday. Guaranteed, promised, and straight. Number one number, straight. 5703, number one number, and straight. Your 988, straight. And it was a number one number. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that's another Sunday. Texas, 673, number one number. 3767, number one number. You got 0685, promised. You got 472, promised. 3492, guaranteed. Guarantee 1827, promised 701 in the number one position. Texas, look at that, ladies and gentlemen, almost all the way across. 729, straight and promised. 5107, ladies and gentlemen, promised. 690, promised straight. 0584, promised. 6459, promised. 140, promised straight. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing here. So we know that we put that 4880 in the number one position to make the money, and promised it to the VIP. Remember, I am not accepting anybody that's going to be asking me questions because questions take time to answer and I don't have time. I don't. I really don't. I barely have time to come on here to illustrate that I can do this every single day. But like you guys say, we have to eat, right? So again, let's see here. We got Florida coming up next. We did, let's do your Ohio. And then I got to go to work. Ohio 064. 4187. 4187. Okay. We'll start off with the four digits since I just left off with a four digit. 4187. 4187 was a bomb. Like you see, they don't even want to give it to me. They want to lock up on me because they know how great I am. 4187. I know I gave it to my VIP. I know I told them that I'm not play. Look at this. See how this thing is doing? Y'all got to see this for yourself. This is what I'm talking about. 4187. All right, I got you. I got you. 4187, 4187, 4187, 4187. Promised, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see that? And this is a very prime example of the very last number you see. Do you see that right there? So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and scratch out the goods here because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy to do what I do. So if you're not getting a peek at what you seeing, it's too late. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I already congratulated the winners. Look at this. Mr. Bascomb, promise kept straight with proof. Let's go check out the dates. Look at that right there, ladies and gentlemen. From 9-1 to 9-8. And this is the very last number you see. Will the first will fall last, and the last shall fall first. Y'all better leave me alone. I'm telling you, it's always going to happen this way, especially if you believe that those triple dollar signs, I promise, will fall for you. And I also said that that 4187 would drop in Ohio. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? How about that? That's pretty good right there. That's pretty good right there, Mr. Bascom. So, if I was playing that, I would have hit that straight if I was playing. But because I don't have time to play, I only have time to invest. And because I'm not investing in myself, I'm investing in you. I'm investing my time and my energy into you in exchange for Bitcoin, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, Chime. So again, we're going to begin to do this on a whole nother different level. And I'm just going to see if I can get people to focus on what I am trying to get you to see, that these triple dollar signs and the first two number and fire, that is a portfolio. In that portfolio, you can win in multiple states, running them multiple drawings. I'm going to give you for instance, as soon as I get caught up on my emails, my DMs, and um, I got a lot of different things that I got going on with my website where I'm still trying to put together the investment sides for the investment groups. I did work out some numbers, and like I said, for it'd be like if it was a group of 10, it'd probably be like $68 for a group of 10. $68 per person. For a group of five, you know what I'm saying? That would be the 68 times two. So that would be basically about what? Close to 140. Okay, so again, and you would be covered with all of the major um, promised numbers and guaranteed numbers. And if you know, the only numbers that are guaranteed are number 3 and number 4. All uh, fire is promised, and all triple dollar signs are promised. The first two, automatic, you already know that those are promised. So those are your portfolio numbers. These numbers will actually show up and show out, just like you've seen these here. Okay. So we did a 064. I mean, no, we did the 4187. We did detect that we said that that number would fall straight, and we promised it would fall straight. Congratulations, VIP members that have actually excelled and graduated to playing these numbers here. 064, ladies and gentlemen, 064. And then I'm going to take a break because I got to do some work. Let's see here. I got a timestamp, ladies and gentlemen, at 5:47 p.m. yesterday when North Carolina dropped their 337. We got confirmation of a promise kept. 046 was the combination. You see that 872 sitting right there, ladies and gentlemen? You see that 872 right there that I just darkened out? I told you the numbers are singing a song. If you pay close attention, turn the TV off, you will hear this music for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, the first things first, 337 said, focus on the top five three digits. One, two, three, four, five. Ladies and gentlemen, which I promise the big triple dollar sign is a big money pattern, and it will manifest from 9/7 to 9/14. Remember what I said? If you invest 2 to 3 drawings to 2 to 3 days, boom, boom, boom. Promise kept with proof that I did this at 5:47 p.m. yesterday. And we did say that that combination would go to Ohio and your state. So your state, if your state dropped the sum of 10, if your state dropped the sum of 19, if your state dropped 001 or 0001, you want to run that number there. Flat out. Zero six four promised. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take me a small break. I got to do some predictions. And as you know, the predictions will be loaded onto the Discord channel, and I will upload these uh, predictions in the morning because it's just too difficult to cut, copy, paste, and do all of that dragging shit. It's not worth it for me to be doing that, twisting my eyes and fingers when I got a beautiful wife laying right next to me and I want to be up there with her, you know, just chilling, watching TV and stuff. So, again, abundant prosperity in health and in wealth. I'll see everybody in the AM once I get the predictions put together. Um, let's see here. Michigan dropped your 814. You're looking for your 4-1 pair. You're looking for your 4-8 pair and your 1-8 pair. You're also paying very close attention to the 8-4 pair, your 8-4 pair, your 8-4 pair. You want to pay very close attention to your 8-4 pair. Remember, I told you that I was seeing your eights do a lot of damage. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, you got 8888. I told you 8888 is on the hunt. So be aware, all states for at least 6 to 7 days. And I'll see everybody probably around about 8 a.m. once I get all of these predictions done.
You got it stuff again.